straight from Silicon Valley. One big, goofy family.
There's a blank space.
Plus 3 generations of venture capitalists. And one guest judge equals...
Meet the Drapers!
On the hunt for the next big idea.
You're not getting the point.
Entrepreneurs pitch.
Would be as revolutionary as the email.
Technology is kind of magical.
The judges ask the questions.
What is it that you're going to do better than anyone?
Do you have any results yet?
Do you plan on bringing the margins down?
Here is the twist. You, the viewers, get to invest for equity.
Power is in your hand.
Nervous, but I'm excited.
It's great to be an entrepreneur.
The interesting thing is there's nothing artificial about it.
Own a piece of the next big idea.
So what do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Once I started, I didn't stop. Excited!
The guys that are starving, they're hungry.
Presenting Meet the Drapers.
I'm Tim Draper, and welcome to Meet the Drapers. Before we get started with today's episode, let's take a look at the results from last week. It's time to reveal our comments.
I'm Shiva Kashalkar, and I'm the founder and CEO of Green Pinata Toys, a subscription service for parents that prefer high-quality toys.
She seems great. She seems really smart, but I don't know. I don't know if the economics make sense for me. I think the margins are very thin.
She's fantastic, and I do think there's something here.
Kids may look at it a little differently. They may say, this is my toy. Why are you taking it away and putting it back in the box and shipping it out?
That's why you do it when they're sleeping.
Now, Angela, I don't want you to be influenced by our thumbs.
Right.
So I want you to close your eyes, and we're going to do this thumbs up, thumbs
Okay.
down, thumbs all the way around, and then you
Right.
choose, okay?
Okay.
Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs all around.
Can I open my eyes?
Yeah, well, as long as your thumb is down.
Oh, I didn't do it. I was too busy closing my eyes.
I think she gets a halvesy for me.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
options are
I'm
amazing.
down just because the margins aren't that good.
But I think
It's
she could
a tough
improve the
business,
margins.
but she has figured out something cool, and maybe she can figure it out down the road.
My name is Amitabh Mukherjee. It's nice to meet you all. I'm the CEO and president of Redshift Networks. We're actually the cybersecurity space, specifically focused on voice security. We provide a technology which tries to protect those attacks that are coming in. They can be listening to a conversation. They could be eavesdropping on a conference call that you have.
You know, I think that it's very timely. I think this is an issue. I think people are talking about it. And I found him really impressive, and I think he's built a great team, and he's clearly got some traction.
All of a sudden, I thought, oh my gosh, they could have end user contact with all of the people who work with the telcos, with the government. He could have an extraordinarily powerful company.
Oh, completely. When you said that, I just started equating it with the credit card industry and credit fraud. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs all around.
Wow. Wow, 4 up.
TrueMind is complete natural supplements for kids with ADHD. They are backed by over 30 clinical studies that are peer-reviewed.
So what'd you think of TrueMind?
I mean, I think it's
like
cool.
them very much.
Yeah.
And they've got a kid that's got the problem, and they're solving it without a drug.
You have definitely taught me to question medicine pretty regularly, so I love seeing that this is a natural alternative to Adderall.
Big potential here. I like the two of them.
Yeah.
And
I like the brother-sister combo.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Up, down, all around. I think they're great.
Way up.
So welcome back to Meet the Drapers. Today we have some incredible entrepreneurs in the fashion tech world. So I'm Jessie, this is my dad, Tim, and this is my grandfather, Bill, aka Pops, is what I call him. You can call him that too if you want. So we're gonna see some great fashion tech companies and some consumer tech companies today. What do you guys think about the future of fashion tech?
All industries are getting transformed by technology, and so I'm excited about that, and I know fashion is a big thing, and I've always been quite fashionable. Of course, I'm the only one left in the Silicon Valley who still wears a tie and a jacket and a suit.
Okay, I'm glad we have that covered.
I'm really pretty good on judging what to buy. I buy a lot of my wife's clothes.
That's true.
And it goes back to my aunt, who was in the fashion business, and she bought better dresses for Neiman Marcus.
I mean, I'm really focused on the fashion vertical as one of my verticals for, my fund. And that's because there is so much acquisition opportunity in this space right now. We have Bonobos that was just bought by Walmart. So I'm excited to see what we have in store. So before we do that, let me tell you about our incredible celebrity guest judge today. We have Jody Bensel, who is the founder of App Dynamics, which he sold to Cisco recently for the small number of $3.7 billion. I mean, it's incredible. I'm so excited to have him on board. So I'm sure he'll have some really good things to say about this. But first, let's take a look behind the scenes to see what our entrepreneurs have been up to.
Definitely think about team when you're out there. That's a question they'll ask. Tell them who the team members are that are doing sales, that are doing operations. Because if you do have a large market that you're going after, it takes a lot of work to get that done. So if you have those things in place, definitely focus on them and let them know.
We'll be right back after a quick break.
Straight from Silicon Valley, one big goofy family, plus 3 generations of venture capitalists and 1 guest judge equals
Meet the Drapers!
you, the viewers, get to invest for equity.
We allow women to scan their feet and make beautiful high-heel shoes.
Access to our entire collection at membership costs.
The first consumer brand for patients and caregivers.
Technology is coming and changing fashion.
Who will the audience fund? Find out on Meet the Drapers.
Welcome back to Meet the Drapers.
So Jody, welcome to Meet the Drapers.
Yeah,
Thanks so
I'm
much
so
for
excited
coming.
you're here.
Nice to meet you, Jody.
So tell us first, what do you think of fashion?
I believe in fashion. I would say fashion to me is more what I see from my wife. She's more in fashion. I'm more in technology. She buys my clothes. I approve or disapprove sometimes, but that's what.
That's it for fashion.
But I think fashion is always gonna be here to stay. I really like how technology is coming and changing fashion. So I think I can play some role there because I understand technology.
So tell us a little bit about you, and you've built this amazing business, and now you've sold it. Give advice to all these entrepreneurs out there as to how best to run their business. They all want to do what you did.
So Cisco is an amazing company, and they bought App Dynamics.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
38.
Awesome.
So just, retiring at 38.
For as long as I can be retired. But that's what I'm doing, so it's fun. My advice to entrepreneurs is that you got to focus on building the business that serves the customers. And a lot of times in Silicon Valley and in the world of startups, we get obsessed by fundraising and kind of the hype of Silicon Valley and everything. My number one advice to everyone is just focus on the customer, focus on how you deliver the best service, the best product, the best something to the customer, and the business will form out.
For all of those of you out there in TV land, just know that if you can delight your customer, you can be an enormous success like Jody here.
Wait, really quick, how long did it take you?
9 years.
9 years.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's another thing I always tell entrepreneurs is you got to commit for the long term. If you want to build something, you got to commit to it.
Well, good. So what do you say we bring on those entrepreneurs and see how it goes?
I'm looking forward to it.
I think so.
All right, bring on the entrepreneurs.
I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited. I'm confident. I have a fantastic team, a fantastic company, and a product that's proven, and we have over 700 customers. So something's got to be going right. Well, today, I really hope that they can see that this is a huge opportunity to disrupt an industry and bring a product to the consumer marketplace that's never been delivered into the market like this before. Hi, my name is Sandra Galt, and I am the CEO and founder of a high-tech fashion company called Galt. We allow women to scan their feet and make beautiful high-heel shoes that are guaranteed to fit, and we do it all through your iPhone. So women from anywhere around the world now have the opportunity to get custom-made high-heel shoes that are guaranteed to fit, all for $250 per pair. How many of you love women in high-heel shoes? Yes. 90% of all women wearing shoes are ill-fitted. And in the US alone, it's a $65 billion shoe industry. We've scanned over 2,000 women so far, and nearly 95% of all those women have different left size and right size feet. With Galt, customer no longer has to do that. We just scan their feet. In fact, we don't even do shoe size. It's their unique size. Each shoe gets its own serial number. And once you scan your feet once with the iPhone, you don't have to do it again. You just reorder your shoes over and over again. We're currently raising $2.5 million to actually help us grow customer acquisition, come out with new models, and go and market the product, not only in North America, but around the world. We currently run on an iPhone, and we want to use that money also to create an Android version of the product. So we love our product, and more importantly, we love our customers. We were talking about earlier about how important it is to talk to customers and really focus on solving a true problem. We are solving an amazing problem with technology that's never been delivered in the shoe industry for high heels. So our factory is in Spain, and we hand make them in Spain. We deliver them in under 4 weeks. We built the entire infrastructure so that now we have an actually on-demand, direct-to-consumer, customized platform.
I didn't understand how the iPhone, the cell phone, has anything to do with the shoe.
You would think that why would you use a cell phone, right? So we're actually geeks in high heels. And what we did was we took 3D imaging technology and put it in the iPhone. All the consumer has to do is take an 8.5 by 11-inch piece of paper from their printer, and they put it on a hard floor, and they take their naked foot, and they put 1 foot on the piece of paper, and we take 3 photographs. It's like taking a selfie of your foot on the outside, on the top, and on the inside. Then our smart technology behind the scenes actually creates a 3D image of that specific foot, and they do it on their right foot. And we do it through the app. It's self-explanatory, or they can even have a friend scan themselves.
Now, you guys do it, or I can do it for myself? Here, I can take off my shoe. Here, we'll do this.
Oh, God. You want to scan your feet?
Oh, wow. Here's a piece of paper.
So you need a blank piece of paper with nothing on it.
Here's my blank piece of paper. Sorry about the smell, everyone.
I'm embarrassed that we're showing your foot.
I'm trying to...
We actually need to do it on a hardwood floor.
I want to see you walking in high heels.
Yeah. Well, you know what's beautiful?
Does it take a while to do, or should we just...
we need to do it on a hardwood floor.
I'm glad she's not selling underwear.
Your nails are gonna crash our app.
I have a background in digital imaging, so I worked at IBM and Kodak. And at Kodak, we did printers.
Ooh, you worked at Kodak?
Yes.
Were you there when it collapsed?
No, I left right before.
Oh boy, good.
So I actually left
you
about
weren't there at the time.
Well, I was there on the digital side, so I knew nothing about traditional film. So I was on the camera and inkjet printing.
But you learned a lot.
I learned a lot. When I was at Kodak, they were promoting women, so they said, "Hey, we want you to do this inkjet printing paper." I said, "Okay." They said it's only $6 million in revenue and $8 million in negative earnings, so it's not making any money. When I left the business 4.5 years later, it was a $65 million business with $20 million in profit, and now it's over $300 million for Kodak.
How much do you want my check?
Thank you.
I like the tailoring. Now, there are a lot of people going after shoes for women and high heels, and how do you rise above the noise?
Because of the experience of our customers, they actually refer other people. They talk about the product. It becomes social. And I wanted, because I'm a geek in high heels and I love fashion, I love technology, and I love business, I combined those 3 together. But what I ended up building was a community of really smart women. They tell other women. So most of us walk down the street, and when somebody comes up to us and says, "Hey, where'd you get those shoes?" That's a huge compliment. What do they do when they're wearing true Galt shoes? They pull out the app and they say, "I did this through my own iPhone." And one customer basically said, I'm investing in myself. And when I'm in a pair of beautiful high heel shoes that feel good, I feel confident.
Okay, I have a couple questions. So you make these shoes?
Yes.
And do you make one style of shoe with a similar height, or how many different types of shoes do you make?
Right. We currently have 20 styles, and most of the styles come in either 2-inch or 4-inch. And each style you can apply up to 20 different leathers. So I can get this shoe, for example, in a beautiful black patent, or I could get it in a bright red suede. It's my choice.
And how long does it take to get a shoe to my doorstep? Because I assume you are not manufacturing in the U.S., are you?
No, we're manufacturing in Spain, in Alicante, Spain, which is the epicenter of the best quality high heel shoes. When you place your order through the iPhone, we quote 4 weeks, but we usually deliver under 3. About 35% of our customers repeat 35% of the time. They also refer 21% of the time. So we are going to actually have customers helping us sell this product.
Has anybody bought a pair of shoes yet?
Yes. Yeah, we have
700 people. What does that add up to for revenue?
We have about $300,000 in revenue so far. And the other thing that we're going to be doing...
That's how many shoes?
It's about 1,000 pairs of shoes.
So the question I have is, what's the do the buyers find the shoes really comfortable?
Yes.
And how comfortable is it? Like when the claim, the science claim is that these shoes are much more comfortable because you can custom make for their size.
Yes.
And the women who are buying it, they are vouching for it.
So we not only do the biomechanics of the foot, but we think about the material science, the padding, the cut of the material, the shape of your foot, the style that you bought. Now, how do we actually get out there? When women wear our shoes, many of them don't go back to other brands. They'll come back and rebuy. And they love the product. And we also will start doing things like bringing in industry experts to the industry, into the business. And I'm really proud to say, and I think I can say it on camera, but Nina Garcia is joining our company.
You're raising $2.5 million.
Yes.
What's the valuation?
The valuation right now is $8.5 million.
$8.5, and have you raised some of that $2.5 already?
Not yet, no, but I have already previously raised over $2 million. And we use that to build the technology, the factory, put in an awesome team, and now we're ready to go to push, start scaling it.
Who put the $2 million in?
Our lead investor is Cayuga Venture Fund, and they're out of Ithaca. They're associated with Cornell University.
Good.
And Joanne Wilson.
Good.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's
do a crowd fund.
Yes.
Oh,
I think
speaking
so.
of crowd fund, let's ask the crowd.
What do you think? True Galt. Thumbs up, thumbs down, or do you want to fund her? You can, right now.
Actually, it went really well. You don't feel this pressure. They really want to hear what you have to say. And I gotta say, I love Bill Draper. He's the best. Can't wait to make a pair of high heel shoes for Tim Draper. But they're like a very smart investor. They ask questions about the technology. They ask about how you're gonna scale the business. So I think they were spot on. I wish I had asked for the $2.5 million from the Drapers. So help a geek in high heels and help a company that's led by women. Invest or download our app on the Apple Store and start scanning now.
We'll be right back after a quick break. Welcome back to Meet the Drapers. So what did we all think about True Galt?
I liked her very much, and I like the fact that 9 out of 10 women have uncomfortable feet wearing high heels. So, combination and trying to solve that problem, which would be big time.
I like that she named her company after herself, and because then she's really committed. She's in there all the way. I don't know if the problem's as big as she says it is.
For me, I thought the problem that 9 out of 10 women have uncomfortable high heels, that I totally believe in, and I really like her commitment and passion. And my doubt is still around does her solution really solve the problem? And the answer that I heard, which I really liked, was that 33% of the buyers are buying again.
First of all, as a founder, she was incredible. I thought she is going to make this thing happen, but I have so many concerns. You're competing with enormous names. You have to have a major marketing plan, but I thought she was incredible. I don't see anything like game changing here?
She needs a brand because for women, you know, I know my wife, she would wear uncomfortable shoes if they are like fashionable and high brand.
Yeah.
You know, she might also take that technology and start thinking about either licensing it or using it for athletic shoes, for other types of shoes, because now she's got my feet in there, and I'm sort of thinking, yeah, okay, nice that she'll send me some high heels, but I think I might want some running shoes.
You don't want
or
high
some...
heels? Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs down. Thumbs all around. I think I'm going to give her a...
Boom.
Are you up or down with that one?
I'm right between up and medium. I'm at a 3/4.
That's not even a level. You
It's
go
a
up,
new
down, or
level. I
sideways.
created a new level.
Recall yourself who your favorite inventor entrepreneur is. And do you love them for the money they made, or instead for the gift they gave to society and yourself through building a better product? Be that person. Give that gift, give your ideas and innovation to society, and that is a legacy you will leave. Much more important than a monetary reward you'll gain. You'll know that you created something new and unique, and through that, society will love you, and so will I.
Doing great. The sun is shining, and I'm ready to bring that energy to the pitch and impress some of the Drapers. You know, we've been growing significantly, and I think getting this story and our story and our growth in front of some prominent players is going to give us that edge to really grow it to a global brand, and we're looking to achieve that with the Drapers. My name is Ellison Loomis, CEO and founder of Ellison Eyewear. Ellison Eyewear is a socially driven luxury eyewear brand that, first of its kind, provides life insurance for your Ellison frames. And what is Club Ellison? Club Ellison is essentially insurance for your eyewear. And what it essentially does is it protects you from the 3 largest pain points experienced by tens of millions of customers every year. The fact that you lose them, you break them, or someone might steal them. How does it work? You simply log into your Club Ellison account, you submit a claim, or we like to call it, tell us your story. Then that story automatically gets shared to your whole entire social network, and as a reward for living that experience, we then reward you with the whole collection at exclusive membership pricing, which is half off full retail. Members also get to be a part of a community that acknowledges and rewards them for living in these experiences versus punishing them like other big brands. Now, you guys being an adventurous family yourself, I'm sure that you guys, when's the last time you lost your sunglasses? Tim, Bill, think about the last time you guys went on a fishing trip and you were trying to get that big trophy fish. Maybe you won the battle or one of you guys went off board. Jesse, maybe you and your husband Brian went on a adventurous trip with your son Phoenix, and your son decided to give your dog Archie one of the new sunglasses as his new toy. And Jody, maybe you were excited for your next $1 billion exit, and on that way to that big contract sign, you left your glasses in the cab. Now, while we feel it is important to look good, we also think it's equally important to do good. So for every pair of Ellison sold and membership sold, we give someone their eyesight back, while also giving our customers a tangible way to impact the communities around them through immersive and philanthropic experiences. Now, we believe that in the act of losing something, you're finding something greater in that process, and material things should never hinder that process. So I'm here to welcome you guys into the family and hopefully see the world through a different lens.
Great.
Terrific. Why don't you come pull up a chair and we'll ask you a few questions.
How many glasses are you allowed to lose a year?
So we have unlimited submissions. So you can make as many stories and adventures you go on. That's okay with us. So it's unlimited.
Does the cost of your membership go up over time if you start losing more?
So we don't think that you should be punished for living life. So what we do is we charge a one-time $10 fee for a year membership.
How do you get half off prices?
Well, we own our own supply chain. I lived in Italy and Greece for 4 years developing the manufacturer, and we're actually we're the only one that could say we hand make our products in Greece. We're the only manufacturer able to do that.
Are you wearing some now?
I am wearing. These are actually blue tech, and we've expanded our collection. These actually block 99.9% of all UV blue emitted from TVs, screens, digital devices.
Wow, and they look like normal glasses.
Yeah, they're 95% transparent and 99.9% protective against all digital devices.
That's great.
When I go and become a member and I keep losing glasses, is it my responsibility then to do a social media post in order to get my new pair of glasses?
Being a part of this membership, we all share stories, thousands of stories. So it is kind of automatically integrated within the platform.
So it's required to have a Facebook
Correct.
post to get my glasses?
Correct.
I get it.
How many users do you have?
Yeah, so we launched the company. We launched Club Ellison. We've been in business since 2014. Launched Club Ellison in 2016. Initially got 3,500 members organically. 18% of those people organically came back, and now we're just...
They each paid $10.
So initially, because we were testing it out, we wanted to see if this would resonate well. So we were able to get 1,000 that paid, but 2,500 of those people organically came on. We said that this is something, and then we instilled a $10 membership.
And you said only 18% stayed.
18% of the 35 utilized their membership perks and came back to repurchase products. And we're seeing that most of our customers, most of our Club Ellison customers are buying 3.5 products from us a year.
And what's the nonprofit connection here? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, so I'm actually a dental student dropout. So I initially got into this and kind of and I met my father for the first time at 18 in Greece. So kind of coming at the verge of entrepreneurship and this traditional life of becoming a dentist, I decided I was going to take a year off. I then joined Doctors Without Borders. And so what I recognized is that I found an eye organization giving people their eyesight back, and I felt this was very impactful. And then I looked naturally into Eye for an Eye, and I had stumbled across the largest the monopolization of the eyewear industry. This is 45 years ago, before it was CNN covered and everything like that. And I said, why do a pair of these cost as much as that? There's no tangible reason for that reason. So I said, well, Eye for an Eye. And then that kind of stumbled into Greece was in the middle of a crisis. They were looking for opportunities to export. I said, what better people to make sunglasses than people who understand sun the most, the Greeks. So then dropping out of my pursuit to dentistry, moved to Greece for 4 years, built a supply chain, and then launched.
What's the end goal here?
But the idea here is to really disrupt this old monopoly, make an impact, and have some fun in the process.
Who designed your glasses?
You're looking at them. So
you are designing glasses.
So
that's a part of your business, is being the designer of how these all look.
Correct. And that really comes from, when we talk about mood boarding, that comes from the places that we travel, whether it be Nicaragua, Italy, Capri, Greece. We take some of that experiences and we put it into the design of the product as well.
Why your company is special is that it's this insurance thing with the social media, right? But don't you think that's something that Ray-Ban or any of these guys could just go do, and then it's a feature for them, and then you never get off the ground before they just sort of take it over?
So that was very interesting, and one of the things I experienced was for people that are not understanding of the eyewear industry in itself, it's one of the largest unknown monopolies, owned by Luxottica and Safilo. And what they do is they own the rights and licensing to some of the biggest brand names, so Oakley, Ray-Ban, Chanel, Gucci, Prada, and they also own the distribution, so the sunglasses, the Pro Visions, the 4 Eyes. So as an independent designer, I can't go and start knocking on these doors, right? If you're a Nike and Nike doesn't own Foot Locker and doesn't own DSW. So there is those distribution opportunities. For us, there isn't that. So we had to bypass all the traditional and go direct to consumers. And in doing so, what I learned, we didn't launch with Club Ellison. That came from me selling out of my car. One by one, I personally fit over 6,000 people's faces, and I recognize that when you get a product from me, you want to support an entrepreneur, 1 to 200. By Friday, you get it. By Monday, I'm getting a call saying, hey, listen, man, I kind of the dog ate my homework kind of thing. They told me this adventurous story of how they lost their broker, hoping to get a hookup. And eventually I'll laugh, get a reaction on me. I said, okay, enough of the storytelling. I'll give it to you. Thank you for coming back. And what I recognize is that we are there for some of people's most intimate moments, and we want to take advantage of that.
How are you going to scale the acquisition of consumers?
Yeah.
Direct to consumers, but most people go through some kind of distribution channel, so it's all online.
Yeah, so that was another big thing, right? Is how do you actually get the touch point? Because the Warby Parkers of the world, they're paying a massive amount to acquire their customers online, because in the end, we call it the fit factor. You need to try it on before you buy. And if Luxottica owns all of the distribution, how do you do that? So I'm fortunate to have a brother who has over 500 employees at one of his startups in Chicago. I went in there and we did basically a trunk show in the office. This was an opportunity where I was able to distribute 200 to 300 glasses at a single time, generating anywhere upwards of $25,000 to $30,000 in one sitting. Talk about Club Ellison, get the product on their face, and once you leave, you'll see about 20% of those people within the next coming weeks ordering more. Now, to answer your question, how does Luxottica not just flap on an insurance model, if you will? Because they won't. They're a publicly traded company, and their goal every quarter is to raise the cost. So by doing that, they're going to dramatically cut all their profits nearly in half, which is something that they're not going to do. It's easier to acquire a company like us versus replicate the model.
So we're going to have to wrap up. So what's the deal? What are you offering to the crowdfund, and what are you giving? What are you asking
How much
for?
money do you need?
How much money?
Absolutely. So we're seeking $250,000 at a $4 million valuation.
Terrific. Okay,
Thank
so
you very
now
much.
it's up to you.
Vote up, down, or fund him.
To my surprise, I actually think that Bill was the most receptive. He made me feel very comfortable. He told me, he's like, pretend I'm like your grandpa and I'm talking to you. And I could tell that he's been on a couple of adventures himself. You could always practice more. And I think that if I gave myself a little bit more time, planned a little bit better, and practiced a little bit more, I could have been able to convey that message a little bit more authentically. So we encourage you to support us, to invest in us, be a part of our journey, and help us be the change you want to see in the world.
We'll be right back after a quick break. Welcome back to Meet the Drapers.
I've been wearing glasses since I was a kid, and these are very nice glasses.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I would say, the pair of glasses is good. For me, overall, everything, the story was just a bit too many things going on there.
Complicated.
There's too many moving parts.
That's exactly my problem. You have to be focused as an entrepreneur. You got to do one thing really well, as some of us have said.
It is very complicated. I like that he's basically having his customers sell for him.
I see an exit path for him of so he has figured out to make a nice stylish set of glasses. And he has figured out some community element to it that will create some brand about it. So he can take that on, build on it, and sell to Luxottica or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't see with that many moving parts and complications that to be like $1 billion business.
Until I put on the glasses, which are really great glasses, by the way, I was feeling like this is probably not going to work. But then I put on the glasses, and I'm seeing the world through a whole nother
Rose-colored
glasses. And I'm thinking that there are some real positives here. The companies are always beating down the customer when they want a return or they want another pair of glasses. He's realized that just if the customer tells the story of how they went and puts it on the web, suddenly they're marketing his glasses.
Yeah.
And it's it's all
smart.
Positive. That's sort of an all positive thing. So we'll do the thumbs.
Yeah, what do you think? Okay, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs all around. I think he's great, and I think we just need to give him some good business advice.
I do agree. I think he has a lot of potential but he gotta operate it like a business.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about equity crowdfunding. One of the great things about it is you can raise up to $1,070,000 from accredited and non-accredited investors. One thing that I really do like is you get so much exposure both in the crowd, and you get to see how the crowd reacts to your product and your services that you're providing.
So of course I'm nervous, but I've pitched this a million times. I live and breathe this every single day. And I think that as long as I can come off authentic and really show the value and the milestones that I've been able to hit, I think we'll come out on top. I'm hoping to walk away with an investment from either the Drapers or the guest judge, because my story as a patient is really the story of every single patient and loved one who's gone through medical setbacks. Hello everyone, my name is Emily Levy, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Mighty Well, and I'm on a mission to turn sickness into strength. I was undiagnosed for 7 years with Lyme disease, and I was told that I need a long-term IV, known as a PICC line, to administer my antibiotics treatments. But the worst part about this was my doctor told me to wear a cut sock on my arm to protect my line. In my dorm room at Babson College, my team and I came up with our first product, PICC Perfect, the only medical device that allows you to conceal without showing your bandage and still access your medical device. As we got into the market and I became an influencer in the patient community, we realized that the larger opportunity is to create a consumer brand for the 133 million Americans who face one or more chronic conditions. As we started going around the country and I became a public speaker, we found that each patient has a network of loved ones, caregivers, family, and support people who are looking for active ways to help them. And this is where Mighty Well comes in. We are creating the first consumer brand for patients and caregivers, the products that we wish we had. And our first product line focuses on those who have ports, feeding tubes, and who have to carry around medication. I've sold over 2,500 units and gotten into the top hospitals in the Boston and New England area. I've recruited the former CEO of Ralph Lauren Footwear to join our team. I also got the former CMO of Reebok to invest $250,000. So everyone, we're raising $2 million in our seed round to have patients to live mighty well.
Well, great to have you here, Emily. My question is, how big can this get? How big's the market for all of those people who want to cover up? And then where do you take this from there?
That's a great question. So our vision is that you can go from chemo to Starbucks and no one knows that you've just gone through treatment. A recent New York Times article valued the medical fashion industry globally at $40 billion. It's a huge opportunity and it's an unbranded space. So the way that Under Armour changed the game with one t-shirt for football players, and then Life is Good put words on a shirt that made you smile. We're combining those two to create a lifestyle brand for family and caregivers. But what we also want to do is have this be a community for patients and their networks because they feel so alone during this process.
My wife has Parkinson's and right now going to the doctor this afternoon to talk about a feeding tube because she's been losing weight, can't swallow as well. You mentioned feeding tube as one. I don't see how that would cover up anything. I mean, that's already covered up.
So this is one of the products that we're working on. So we want everything to look very athleisure, which is a huge trend right now. And the designers that we've hired have deep knowledge in fabric enclosure technologies. A lot's been developed for the athletes, and we're transpiring that into the patient and caregiver setting. So the designs, which I have right here and I can pull up on the screen, basically it's a bonded seam, which means there's no sew, and you can slip the feeding tube out and slip it back in, and no one has to know. There's also a carrying pouch on the back, so she could keep her feeds in. So have they decided if it's a port, pick line, feeding tube?
Pick line, I think is what they're talking about.
Well, we have a product for her.
How many products do you have like this?
We've been on the market for just about a year now. And then with our designers, we signed on for a 5-piece capsule collection. And we just sent everything to manufacture. And part of the money we're raising is so that we can produce and then market and have the talent acquired needed to scale.
What are your margins?
So currently we produce in Rhode Island. That's where I'm from. We have no minimums. And right now for this product, it's $8.
And then you sell it for $18?
We sell this for $30 currently.
What are you doing direct to consumer?
So right now, Amazon Prime is actually our largest. That's 60% of our sales.
And how do you get customer information from that?
We started doing Amazon campaigns just 2 months ago, and we saw our sales grow by 25%. So we actually hired a developer team. So on our new site, you're going to be able to, so say you want to get a gift for your grandmother. You'll put in, she's 85 years old, being treated for Parkinson's, she's being treated here, and we'll have a list of gifts that are attainable for her.
And that's through Amazon or through your
So that's through our website right now.
Good.
And we learned that, by doing targeted ads, that's a way that we want to go.
How many products have you sold so far?
We've sold 2,500.
And are people coming back and buying more?
We have a 15% customer return rate. So I can walk you through or
What does that mean in dollars? What happened last month in dollars?
So last month we did 5,500. This month we'll do 7,500. So this is what we started with at Babson. Our kids one actually comes with fabric markers so they can color them in.
Oh, that's so
It's
cool.
an antimicrobial sportswear fabric.
Okay.
And we're doing very classic shapes and silhouettes. So it can fit, a young person who's 18 going through chemo up to someone who's 75.
Do you have them help your designer?
So those brand ambassadors, we've brought them into our design meetings, and the ones who are across the country, we've Skyped them in. And part of what we're developing, like the pill organizer, this is also for someone who, is training for a half marathon, is taking vitamins and supplements. So, this can be in a Target, a GNC.
So how does this work? So it goes through.
So I have this in me 24/7 since September.
I was wondering how you get it in.
So she has a hole.
So there are two
Oh,
slits.
there's a hole. I see it. I didn't see the hole.
Yep, 2 slits, and then you thread it through. And then we worked with nurses at Boston Children's Hospital to work on the design, and we've continued to bring them in throughout the entire design process.
Do you need to get some approval from no FDA approvals or anything like that?
So we realized that the best play was going direct to consumer because of our, its immediate cash in the bank. We can see a division of this company later down the line, products that are class 1 medical device sold directly to hospitals. So we can see that down the line, but that's not our immediate focus.
So are you enjoying yourself doing this?
Tim, this is why I wake up every morning. I explain it to people that it's like the 7 stages of grief. I've been down in the trough of sorrow when I was in college and people stopped inviting me to parties. And then as I started engaging with people on social media and started being open with my story, people have said, hey, that's my story too. And it gave me the power, to speak for myself and to speak for others who are not at that point yet. So I want to be an inspiration for them.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So how much are you looking for, and what is that for?
Seeking $2 million. We've raised $250 on a $500 convertible note. So we want to scale, be first to market, really just get the word out there through digital marketing and brand ambassadors. We're valuing the company currently at $4.6 million.
This is a big opportunity to fund Mighty Well.
You can vote for her if you can't
Vote
fund her.
up, down,
up, down,
or
side
fund
to
her.
side, or fund her.
Fund me. I don't think it could have gone any better. I am the consumer. I know my market better than anyone. I had every single answer. I already knew it. I've been asked them before. Last minute, they're like, how much do you want? What's your valuation? But I knew those numbers. I wish I got to explain our Friends in the Fright program. We're a social for-profit company. I think that Tim was really impressed on how much progress we've made, and we're excited for what's next. Back us on Republic so you can help patients to live mighty well.
What do you guys think? I mean, this is a tough one because she's doing something so amazing, but then you also want to look at the business and make sure that the market is big enough.
I really loved her. I think she seemed to me like a true entrepreneur. Like the first thing to me is like, is they want to bet on the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So the entrepreneur, she definitely has everything. She talks about the people she wants to bring in. She understands what the gap she has. She is passionate about the cause. She's passionate about the customer. She's thinking about the business and very, straightforward thinking. So I liked everything about her.
Yeah, I was thinking that the business was limited because she was just doing the armband and then maybe some other protections of the body. But then I saw the pill box and I started to think, oh boy, this is sort of designer for every single medical opportunity. Anybody who's got any problem, they're going to want the nicest looking thing to carry around with them. And I think that's going to be really
A big part of it is going to be building the brand because the brand is meant to sell the pillbox and the bandage and whatever else she makes. I liked her very much. She's a real entrepreneur. She explained it very well.
I do think the market's bigger than you have to think beyond just those armbands, because you think about like people going through chemo or getting any kind of dialysis, they're cold and they want to wear long jackets, and maybe she gets into something, some of those designs where you unzip the sleeves, and I think it's so much bigger than we even understand. Also, the marketing strategies are just endless. Like she brought up Michael Kors, she brought up all of these people who want to get involved. Everyone wants to help this problem. She's a winner. She's a winner for sure. Should we vote?
Absolutely.
Okay, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs all around.
So how do I invest?
Hi, I'm Chuck, and this is Shah Rose, and we're with Republic. And we're here to tell you how you can be engaged in these companies that you've watched on television tonight. Did you ever wish you invested in Facebook or Google when they were private companies? Well, now's your chance to get into these companies when they're still private.
So what you can do is go to meetthedrapers.com or republic.co. And on their websites, you can learn more about each of the companies that you just saw on TV. You can read more about their story, learn more about their product or service, learn more about the deal terms, and make your own assessment of whether you want to invest. You can invest $25, $100, even $100,000. If you really believe in the founder, their mission, and their business, this is your chance to be an investor and invest in the future of what kinds of companies are going to be launched and what kinds of companies are going to grow.
Well, I think that we saw some incredible entrepreneurs today. Thank you so much, Jyoti, for coming and participating. What did you think?
Oh, this was fun. It was great to see the different entrepreneurs, the different, so much innovation in fashion tech. Like when I was here, I was fashion and tech. How interesting would it be? But it was really exciting.
Your questions were excellent.
It was great to have you be a part of this. And I think we're going to adopt him. What do you think? Let's make him a new Draper. Jyoti Draper. He is now part of the Draper family. So welcome to the Draper family. And I think we learned a lot about fashion. We learned about feet. We learned a lot about glasses, and we learned about health. And so this is really quite an exciting day.
Oh,
We did. Today was a great
Very
day.
good day.
See you next week on
Meet the Drapers.
And don't forget to go home and fund those entrepreneurs. Or if you are at home, fund those entrepreneurs. You're probably at home. Fund those entrepreneurs or vote.
Coming up next week, who will the audience fund? Whose dream will come true?
My name is Sandra Galt, and I am the CEO and founder of a high-tech fashion company called True Galt.
My name is Arcel Loomis, CEO and founder of Ellison Eyewear.
My name is Emily Levy, and I'm